High performing leaders, people who have built extraordinary things, who have crossed cultural boundaries and led complex teams, proven themselves again and again, are still running on the stories they wrote about themselves decades ago. Stories that are so old, so embedded, so quietly running in the background that they don't even know they are there until the right question is asked. And then it's like, oh, that's what I've been telling myself the whole time. Are you already kind of thinking about your story? If yes, perfect. I have a question for you. And this question probably will be uncomfortable. I want to I want you to think, what story are you still feeling yourself about who you are, what you're capable of, what's possible for you that you formed before you were 30, or maybe even before you were 20? Maybe in the classroom or a family dinner or a moment when someone said something that landed so deep, you've never questioned it since. Because here it's what I keep seeing in my coaching work right now. And it's showing up so consistently that I really want to address it here. So let me tell you about someone I work with. He started a career as a carpenter. Somewhere along the way, he decided to change direction completely. Retrained, went into finance, built a real career in the world that looked nothing like where he came from. And during his studies, he was surrounded by people who seems to belong there in a way that actually he didn't. Different backgrounds, different schools, different fluency with that world. And somewhere in that experience, a story formed. I'm not enough. I'm not the right profile. I don't quite belong here. And it was 10 years ago. Today, he leads, he delivers, he is by external measure exactly the right profile. And that story is still running quietly in the background every time he walks in the room. Every time he has his opportunity to speak with authority. Every time something big is on the line and he needs to be fully present. And that story is you're not enough. You're not really that profile. And he's conscious of it because it doesn't announce itself. It just shapes the way he holds himself, the ceiling he puts on his own ambition, the moments he pulls back when he should lean in. 10 years of evidence to the contrary. And the story hasn't updated. Does it sound familiar to you? Okay, then another client, a woman who, as a kid, was, let's say, not the top of the class. She wasn't the one that things came easily to. She had to work really hard, harder than the people around her to get the same results. And she did. She worked and she got them. So a story form. I have to work harder than everyone else. That's my only real strength. Effort is how I earn my place. Decades later, she is absolutely exceptional. She has built things that most people never will. She leads with intelligence and precision and real power. And she's still grinding, still over preparing, still carrying the invisible badge of honor that says, if you stop working this hard, I will lose everything I've built. The story served her. It genuinely did. It drove her. It made her. But now it's her ceiling. Because the leader who cannot rest, who cannot delegate, cannot trust that she's enough without the grind, that's not a strength anymore. That's a trap she built for herself out of the identity that is 30 years old. And I will tell you my story. For a long time, my story was stay in the lane, follow the rules, stay in the box. and you will be fine. The big world, that's for other people, not for you. I don't know exactly where that came from. I have my suspicions. But I know it ran quietly, persistently for years, for decades. Every time something bigger was available, every time someone saw more in me than I was claiming, every time I had a choice between staying safe and stepping fully out. The story said, that's not your space. Don't ask for more. Don't go out there. And you know what? I bloody listened for years and for longer than I really wanted to admit. The moment that changed things wasn't dramatic. It wasn't just one big decision, spectacular one. It was the slow, accumulating weight of evidence that the story was simply wrong. Not wrong because someone told me so. It was wrong because reality kept contradicting that story. And eventually I had to choose. Do I keep running on the old story or shall I update it? So I updated it. And everything that happened since has been on the other side of that choice. And hear what I know about those stories. We don't remember forming them. They form in the background, in the small moments, the classroom, the kitchens, corridors, and the gaps between what we hope for and what happened. And then we carry them for years, decades, and they run, shaping our decisions, our presence, our ceiling, while we generally believe we are operating from who we are now. We are not. We are operating from who we were when the story was formed. The question isn't whether you have one of these stories. I know you do. Everyone does. The question is it still true? And I want you to think for a moment for yourself. Is this the story still true for yourself? Look at the evidence. Not the old evidence, the evidence that is today, what you've built, what you've survived, what you've become. Does the story match? If it doesn't, and for most of people I work with, it doesn't, not remotely, then it's time. Not one day, not when things settle down. Now, thank the story. It served you, sure. It probably made you who you are in ways you're still discovering. And it is no longer yours. Write the new one from the evidence of who you actually are right now. So I'm going to leave you with one question. Not to answer out loud, not to process publicly, just sit with it. What story am I still running on that formed before I knew what I was actually capable of? What story am I still running on that formed before I knew what I was capable of? You will know where you find it. It will feel uncomfortably familiar. That familiarity is just the beginning. Enjoy the process, and I will see you in the next episode.